folks.
It's a real thing.
The Edge Morning Show.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Edge Morning Show.
With Chris Knight, Eric Johnson, Fox 2's Faust, and Tabitha Hassell.
The Edge starts now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show this morning. You're listening to The Edge. Happy Tuesday. All right, we got to get through some of this crap weather before we get some of the great stuff that's coming. Appreciate you joining us. It is 8:04. Chris Knight's back. Just checking him out.
So good to be back.
How much weight you lost, man? You look good. You're trying to lose weight, you said, right?
I am trying to lose weight.
How much do you think you've lost since you
like,
started trying?
Like probably about 9-10 pounds.
Okay, you looking good. Got to keep it up.
Got to start somewhere, right?
That's right. When you have goals to do it, it certainly motivates you. It makes it a little bit easier.
Makes it easier when you're around people that are like, hey, dude, keep it up.
Yeah. Also,
it's hard.
And as you get older, I'm just telling you, in 3-4 years, dude, you're going to have to change a lot because I had to. It's human nature.
Age definitely makes an impact.
We can't do what we did and everything worked 5 years ago. No, man, what's wrong, man? This is what I used to. Oh,
yeah.
Trust me. I had to make some life-changing things, too. So anyway, Chris Knight's here. Welcome back. Appreciate you joining us. Eric Johnson will be in. Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust. All right, coming up at 8:30, we're going to talk with State Representative Nick Shore out of St. Peter's. He and a couple other politicians today calling for Governor Parson to step in and not allow any cities in the state of Missouri to defund police, considering the effect that now we have proof where the homicide rates and crime are shooting sky high in cities all across America that are defunding police. There's not cities where they're defunding police where crime is going down.
Of course not.
Not one.
I mean, that's logic, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, that's how it's being sold.
Well, of course it is.
So you got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, at least in my business you do, and then you see what happens.
And now we know.
And so Nick Shore will come on to talk to us a little bit about that, what's going on. Also, coming up here in just a couple of minutes, my oh my, Tim Fitch, St. Louis County Councilman, is going to call us. Last night was the first in-person county council meeting since before COVID began. And
did they get rid of Sam Page?
no, they don't get rid of him.
Not yet.
But guess who didn't show up?
Who?
Sam Page. He didn't show up. I know. He didn't show up. That's how we end all of this and move forward. The worst thing you can do is not show up.
Yes. Very cowardly.
But he did tune in via Zoom. He zoomed in.
He's what? Is he afraid of COVID?
I think so.
I even saw Jane Duker, friend of the show, post a picture of his house. I think she drove by his house.
Did she really? That's great.
Twitter posted a picture of his house. Like, where are you? Why would I don't understand unless he was just happened to be sick on that day or happened to have COVID and not show up.
He's trying to prove a point that he really believes in his fake science and that he has to stay home and avoid COVID, even though he's been vaccinated.
It can't be that. It can't be.
Maybe he didn't want to face the retribution.
I don't know, but there were people calling for his job,
He
I
knew.
think, last night.
I'm sure he knew that was going to
Tim
happen.
Fitch is going to call us here in just a couple of minutes. So, Chris, be on the lookout for that phone call.
All right.
He'll be giving us a call to do that. And then, of course, we'll get into a whole bunch of other things coming up today. Major League Soccer commissioners in town today to tour the St. Louis City soccer stadium construction. I know when Eric gets here, he'll bash it like he always does with soccer, Eric. But if you've driven downtown, the construction looks amazing. The soccer stadium looks great. The view on Highway 4064 as you're driving towards downtown, it looks great. I just hope and pray that it's going to be as big and everything will be good at that point in time.
I hope so. We need it.
All right, Chris, you want to work at Amazon?
Sure, why not?
Get another job?
Why not?
Well, job seekers are not going to be tested for marijuana anymore.
What?
No. They're not going to do it. So there you go. Happy June 2nd.
They're only going to be tested
20.
for vaccinations.
Yeah. That's funny. I think you might be right. Tabitha, what else can we talk today about that got you going yesterday?
I am exceptionally frustrated that last night, overnight in Florida, we had a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old escape from a foster care situation, broke into a home, stole an AK-47 and another weapon, and got in a shootout with police. And you know what? Before I go further with this, the part that aggravates me the most, obviously that part's bad, that they're in a fight with police. But what aggravates me the most is that these kids are in a foster care system. It was like a group home type setting. Well, guess what? When somebody illegally crosses our southern border, these children, the unaccompanied minors, they're finding foster homes for them before they are American children. And, living in a group foster home as a 12 and 14-year-old has to be a very difficult life, to not have that one-on-one parental care and love and support that they need. And it drives me insane that our American children have to live this way, and people are crossing our southern border and being placed in adoptive situations. We're
going to get into that because that's another big topic, but we're not hearing anything about it nationally.
Of course we won't.
No, that's one thing where I don't know where Joe Biden is or Kamala Harris is on the border, but the situation has not stopped at the border. And we'll talk more about that today. We're grateful that we have St. Louis County Councilman Tim Fitch on the phone. Tim, I know you're getting ready to take off today. I know you've been very busy. You've joined us in the past. Last night, first in-person county council meeting, and heck, who knows, well over a year, I believe. But Sam Page, St. Louis County Executive, didn't show up. Were there any news on why he didn't come?
The best that we heard is that he was at his house in Creve Court, and he had some sort of family obligation that he could not get away from.
Seems awfully suspicious to me. I think maybe he had a heads up that there was going to be some retribution to be faced at the meeting.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
What was the docket?
And by the way, he's going to have to face that eventually anyway. So putting it off isn't going to change it. I think he's just going to encourage others to make sure they're there next week. And he can keep doing this. And Steve Stenger did the same thing and then was heavily criticized for not coming in the council meetings.
Is that part of his job? Is that part of? Can you be removed for skipping meetings? Because I heard he zoomed in.
Well, it depends. The charter says he shall attend meetings of the county council. Doesn't say may. Doesn't say how many he can miss. I could tell you that the charter also says if a council member misses more than 4 meetings, they're immediately removed from their seat. It does not say that about the county executive. So it remains up to debate whether or not he can be removed for not attending.
Why do you think he didn't come? Was it just because?
He's scared.
My guess is he did not want to look individuals in the eye and hear what they had to say about how he's handled St. Louis County government business for the last year and a half.
But doesn't he feel? But
that.
he has come out and said that he has done a good job, though. I thought he was proud of what he's done.
Who said he did a good job?
No, himself, talking about the last press conference we've had with him and Tashara Jones, and I believe that was one of the last ones. Like they feel like they've done a really good job, but we haven't. He's been silent for a long time.
Really, what else do you expect a guy like Sam Page to say? Oh, man, I really fumbled this, and I should have listened to others, and I should have taken input from the council and the people that they represent. He would never say that. He's always going to say he was right. Even if the ship is sinking, he will say he was right.
You have a better chance of getting struck by the lightning.
No, but what I don't understand, though, is I feel as if he feels that he has done a good job. Don't you think that, Tim, that he feels that way? That he really cares and has done the right thing?
I think that's the only way he could probably sleep at night is to think he did the right thing. He would never probably admit that he would do things differently. You haven't heard him say anything about he would do anything differently at all. Matter of fact, it's been the complete opposite.
Well, nobody nationally
so I don't think he'll ever back off of that. He is a true politician. Everybody says, well, he's a doctor. No, he's a politician first. He's been a politician longer than he's been a doctor. The doctor is his side gig. So he'll never back off of that.
He needs to stop hiding behind a computer screen, behind a Zoom meeting, and he needs to face these business owners and parents who lost businesses, whose kids missed out a year of school. He needs to face them head on and hear what they have to say, even if he doesn't feel they're right.
You're right. What I think he's hoping happens, he has a primary he has to stand for in August. Not this August, but next August. So he hopes this is all over and done with and behind him by the time that primary gets closer. And he's going to do everything he can to make himself. You'll hear him make lots of press conference statements about how much money he's given to the failing businesses and how much he's helped the community with food and all of those things. He's going to harp on that for the next year. He's going to be looking for awards, to receive awards from different groups. He's already received one from the NAACP, a humanitarian award for his efforts. He'll be looking for that. He'll be looking for those organizations to support him in that manner to get himself reelected. That's going to be coming.
And by the way, I have reached out to Sam Page for anybody who may not like some of the conversation it's had right now for a comment. Was told we would get Sam, but then it's gone silent in recent days. So I have tried.
Yeah, that's how Doug Moore, that's how he operates. His PR guy is if they think it's going to be negative, they will not allow him to participate in that.
Wow. Where do we sit right now in St. Louis County in regards to the meeting last night? I'm not sure what was on the docket because I wasn't there. Anything pressing that people need to know about?
Well, we had a robust discussion about this next round of federal stimulus money that's coming, this $193 million. Is we're getting request after request after request from Sam Page and some of his staff for this money, for like raises and things like that. And we don't even know how the last round of federal money was actually spent. So we've asked for a council hearing for the Page administration to come in and talk to us about how this money was spent. We have some serious questions about how some of this money was spent, specifically $3.1 million on 2 consulting contracts for a company out of Boston that did actually very little, if anything, for St. Louis County government. So we have some serious questions about that.
Yeah, I would think so, definitely. What do you think the future is for Sam Page, Tim?
I think originally he had more aspirations of being the county executive. We do know that there was a white paper out there floating around that his staff had prepared for him to run for U.S. Senate at some point. I think that's dead in the water after what's happened. He could not win an election statewide. You remember he ran for lieutenant governor years ago and lost. So he clearly is not happy just being the county executive. He's given up a significant amount of pay, although he's trying to get it back with his side gig at the hospital. And I think he's looking for the next thing, but it's really not going to be outside of St. Louis County. It just can't. He cannot get elected statewide. So there's been some talk he'd run for Ann Wagner's seat if she runs for the U.S. Senate. So who knows what he's going to do? But one thing he will not do, I don't believe, is just give up politics and go back to being, a physician. I don't think he'll do that. It's not in his nature.
Where do you see St. Louis County 3 months from now, Tim? Because we know that it's been a rough go.
I think what we need to do is we need to completely revamp county government structure. And what I mean by that is we've had the last 3 county executives issue after issue after issue. It's time for us. We're sophisticated now enough that we need a professional county manager. So that's one of the things that I'll be trying to push for is to have a professional county manager form of government and weaken the county executive seat because he's running it as a politician, not as a business or like a business. So I think that's something that we really need to look at. We also need to look at changing our elections to nonpartisan races. Right now, you have to select a party to run. Well, we don't deal with party issues in St. Louis County. So we really just need to drop that Republican-Democrat party affiliation and let the people decide who they want.
That's a good idea.
That's where I see it going in the next several months.
So when is the next county council meeting?
It's every Tuesday at 6:30.
You think Sam Page will show up next week?
Yeah, that was exactly where I was going with that.
I think he knows he's going to have to face the crowd eventually, and he will sit there stone-faced as usual and listen to what they have to say. That's typically what he does when he's criticized on the council remote meetings. So, yes, I do think he will be there next week. I'll be very surprised if he does not show.
What else should we know before we let you go this morning, my friend?
I think we covered it all.
Anything else you want to let people know before you go, or what they can do, or how can they voice frustrations in St. Louis County?
Well, I think one of the things that people need to do is they really need to show up at that meeting next Tuesday in person. Sorry for the loud noise in the background. They really need to show up at the council meeting next Tuesday and let their voices be heard is what I suggest.
Tim Fitch, we appreciate your time. Thanks again for joining us this morning.
All right. You stay safe.
All right.
You too.
Enjoy your travel.
Bye-bye.
Tim traveling this morning. He's at an airport.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like he's at an airport. I know that sound.
He's at an airport. He gave us what time he could.
Yes.
It certainly puts things in perspective of what's going on. I mean, you would think that you would jump out and the last thing we need is more controversy in St. Louis County with Sam Page. Last, it was an opportunity for him to show himself. Hey, listen.
It was.
Now, if he had something that was a personal situation that had been planned for a while, I mean, okay. But, man, you come out, make a statement, say, hey, I'm sorry I can't be there. This is what's going on. The more proactive you are, the more transparent you are, the better. It shows honesty. It shows that, hey, listen, I'm not trying to hide something. And be proud of who you are. Be proud of the job you're doing. Be proud of how you're leading St. Louis County.
Well, it was his opportunity. He missed his opportunity.
The worst thing you can do is go to your house.
Absolutely so, because now he looks like a coward.
Yeah, whether he is or he isn't.
I agree. Whether he is or isn't, that's how it looks. That's the optics. And he really needed to show up, and he needed to face these people and at least hear their concerns. He doesn't have to agree, but you know what? That gave him the opportunity to face these people and say, this is why I did what I did.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And right now, we don't have that.
No, we don't.
We'll continue to talk more about that today. Coming up at 8:30, you won't want to miss this either. Nick Schroer, St. Peter's state representative, will join us and tell us about what's going on today. There's a huge effort to get Governor Parson to not allow cities to defund police or to jump in where people have done things because of research and stats that are showing that defunding police in cities just ain't. That's for you, Mom. She hated when I said that was a kid. No, it just isn't working.
Ain't's not a word.
It's not working. That doesn't work. And defunding police are not working. Eric Johnson's going to be showing up. Chris Knight's here. Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust to Fox 2. The phone number to give us a call, 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. You can watch us on Facebook at 100.7 The Viper. Once again, 100.7 The Viper, and we appreciate it when you share the show. And we'll also get into today, if you haven't seen the video that's circulating of kids stealing turkey legs at Six Flags yesterday. When I say kids,
Oh, I saw the video.
not like 12-year-olds, kids that look like they could give, me, Chris and I, a good fight. So if you're working security inside Six Flags, you go to work not thinking you're going to have to fight multiple kids because they're stealing turkey legs and making the place just look. I can tell you this much. Do I want to go to Six Flags after what I saw or take my kids to Six Flags after what I saw yesterday ever again? No.
Right.
I don't. I don't want to go to Six Flags. If that's what's going to happen, unless those people who did what they did get lifetime bans for what they did.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful to see that.
We have video. We can show it on it, but we can't
Yeah.
show it to if you're listening via streamer on radio, but it's just sad.
It's frustrating and sad.
And then to steal turkey legs
Turkey
and
leg.
then fight
And fight over the
and
turkey
then
legs.
fight police,
I
fight
know.
security.
We all like turkey
Imagine
legs,
what they
but
would
come
have
on.
done on a chicken leg.
A chicken leg.
I don't know.
I know turkey legs are way better than chicken legs.
Are they?
Yeah, turkey
I
legs are
love
better.
those turkey legs. I'm not going to fight with
No, they
somebody
are.
over it. I'm not going to fight police. I'm not going to steal turkey legs.
We'll get into that as well. Another big show again today. The fastest 2 hours of morning radio. We appreciate your comments. We'll get to those on Facebook as well. We'll be right back. Right back with more Edge right after this.
The Edge.
Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mascot's Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peter's, right by the Recplex. And if you are looking for a place to hang out with your friends, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. If you want delicious food, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. From their appetizers like the giant pretzel, this thing is bigger than your head, to the steak sandwiches, the value menu, to the legendary lunch special. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, you go in and tell them that you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want the legendary lunch special. It's a $5 half-pound burger and fries. That's right, $5 half-pound burger and fries. Better than any fast food burger you will ever have. And on Sundays, all day long. That's right, the legendary lunch special goes all day long on Sundays. Stop by and say hi to Jen and Rob. You will have a great time. Musical bingo, food, fun, friends, and family. It's Mascot's Bar and Grill.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
People's Bank and Trust is helping you get a grip on your finances with our new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills all from the palm of your hand. Visit us online at www.pbtc.net for more information and to start using mobile banking. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Travers Automotive and RV is open at their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes, with an awesome selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Travers Automotive and RV has Ford, Chevy, Ram, Lexus, BMW, Dodge, and Nissan, as well as new RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of used RVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted truck and Jeep Wrangler in the market. Travers Automotive and RV in their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes. Online at traversautoandrv.com.
Say hello to happy, healthy hair at Ulta Beauty's Gorgeous Hair Event, happening right now. Get hair care happy with 50% off hair care essentials from brands like Hot Tools and Living Proof. And get wow-worthy hair with unbeatable deals on shampoo and conditioner pairs from brands like Redken. Longer sunny days just mean more time to show off your new style. Hurry! This event ends May 29th. Discover your best hair yet. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Of all the challenges Chef Gordon Ramsay has faced on Hell's Kitchen,
what is happening?
He's never encountered anything like this.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
23.
Hashtag Young Guns.
Tonight on Fox, TV's most explosive cooking competition is back.
We're running a kitchen, not a kindergarten.
With a whole new generation of aspiring chefs.
I don't want to sound super cocky, but we're taking charge.
Get out!
Okay, Boomer. Hell's Kitchen Young Guns. Season premiere tonight at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to The Edge. We appreciate you joining us on a Tuesday morning. Gray and cloudy, rainy in the St. Louis area. Not sure where it's like, where you're listening from, but we know we have people listening all over the country. Eric Johnson's in studio now. Chris Knight is back, which is good to see. Tabitha Hassell's here. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Thanks again to St. Louis County Councilman Tim Fitch, who just called us. Eric, you had a chance to listen to it on your drive in. You said you enjoyed listening.
He sounds frustrated, doesn't he?
Well, yeah.
Bitch.
I tell you who's frustrated are white people, black people, Republicans, conservatives, Democrats, liberals, because they're all working together in St. Louis County and they want their boss to be there. Yeah. That's why.
You think? Come on, man.
It's one of the few spots in America where you actually have Republicans and Democrats working together.
Yeah.
St. Louis County Council.
I always thought I would listen to Sam Page.
You got African-American women and white males of different parties working together in agreement, and there's one thing that's kind of standing in the way, and he didn't show up last
Frankenstein.
night. No, I'm not.
Come on now.
I don't call people.
Come
names.
on now.
You don't.
I didn't. That's a compliment.
No, not how.
It's a compliment.
Look.
It's a compliment. Frankenstein's a handsome young man.
I just get frustrated that he's not there. It should be working more harmoniously.
No, you know what?
I can't go there. I can't go
there.
No, you know what? Hey, I'm not a name
Give me
caller.
your Sam Page
I would
impersonation, Eric Johnson.
Look, here's the deal. You have Sam Clooney.
Sam Clooney. Where in the world did that
my
come
mind
from?
is not working right now.
Wait a minute, Eric,
you
go
have
ahead, your
George
coffee
Clooney and
come back.
Frankenstein. They're in the same. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
My goodness.
No, it was very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sam Clooney.
The frustration came from these are hardworking people. They're getting their asses up and going to this council meeting. They're trying to work together. They need leadership. They need a leader to come in and sit down and go, guys, what's going on? And Sam Page, according to this interview, is watching Golden Girls at his house with his family in Creve Coeur. What?
We don't know what he was doing.
He was watching Golden Girls.
It was a personal situation.
He was watching
He was watching Frankenstein.
He was watching, yeah.
Well, obviously, he took time out to sit behind the Zoom meeting. Why couldn't he take a few minutes out to go sit actually in the meeting?
That's his county.
It's not like he lives
He's
very
the
far.
county executive, and he doesn't show up for his obligated duties.
Well, KMOX radio personality and attorney representation for St. Louis City and St. Louis County Police, Jane Duker, drove by the house, took a picture.
Oh, wow. Good for her. Good for her.
Anyway, hey, we got another friend of the show joining us right now. Nick Shore, Missouri State Representative from St. Peter's. Always seems to be going, Nick, you just can't sit still, can you? You've always got something going on, don't you?
Well, when you're working for the people, the work never ends.
That's how I feel.
That's the right answer.
Me too. It never ends. You just keep talking about COVID and all kinds of stuff around here.
So, Nick, what do you got going on today? Because right now, just put it this, I'll tee it up for you right now. Right now, around the country, there's not one city where defunding police has shown to have positive impact when it comes to a decrease in homicides or violent crime. Correct me if I'm wrong. Secondly, what exactly are you asking the governor to do today, and what's going on so people know?
Well, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It has not worked. Defunding the police has not worked, but yet we've got quote-unquote leaders in St. Louis and Kansas City. While violent crime is skyrocketing at record highs, their answer to combating crime is defunding the police. Now, they'll go to tell you that this is just, transferring money from the police services to social services, which to me, it's all malarkey in the words of Joe Biden. This has not worked. This is actually proven in other cities and states, Portland, Minneapolis, D.C., New York City. It's been costly. It's been harmful. It's produced chaos. And now, like in Portland, I think it was $6 million they had to shell out to actually get good trained officers in because no one wanted to work there. The recruitment problems, the retention problems for these officers is at record highs in these areas where they've defunded the police. So with St. Louis and Kansas City, both pushing to make this happen in our own backyard, we are asking the governor to request a special session, to call a special session, to bring us back in so we can address this the way that it should be, having legislators from across the state in a representative capacity, 163 House members, 30-something senators, to sit down and put an end to this chaos.
What?
Defunding the police cannot happen in Missouri.
It's like a skydiver saying we're going to defund parachutes. That's the dumbest thing ever. What is the backlash in the public? Do you guys watch the polling? Does anybody in these communities think this is a good idea? I'm sure there are the activists out there, but are there people that legitimately think? I mean, is there backlash coming after all of this wokeism or whatever you want to call it? There has to be, right?
There is. I mean, I don't listen to the polls. I don't do polling. What I do is go listen to the people that I represent. And here in St. Charles County, the people are fed up, Republicans and Democrats. We've seen, after talking to Tim Lomar, we've seen increases in crime from areas where people live in cities of St. Louis and St. Louis County, and it's creeping over into St. Charles County, putting an incredible burden on our law enforcement when it comes to individuals stealing cars, breaking into cars, and then our law enforcement having to track them back down and working with the limited number of officers in St. Louis County and St. Louis City. The backlash, I think, is going to be, as a result, next year you're going to see a movement like the Tea Party on steroids, where people are just fed up. Republicans and Democrats are tired of this woke cancel culture that we live in, and it's going to show at the ballot box.
Why do you think these politicians can't see the forest through the trees then? Because it just seems like they're seeing something that the rest of us aren't. And because it seems like every politician on the planet, they work with polling, and they figure out, is my message resonating to get me reelected? Well, they're seeing something apparently, but I just don't get it, man. I don't understand how. I mean,
after last election, when there was a big push, Cori Bush included, calling for defunding of the police, and the Democrats walked away by the skin of their teeth. You've had Democrat pundits saying this is the wrong messaging. Now, since that time, to your point, they've been listening to these pundits. They've been listening to the polling that indicating we're going to push defunding of the police. That does not work. So they've changed their messaging, saying, we're reallocating resources. But it's the same exact thing they did in Portland, the same thing they did in Minneapolis, in D.C., that they were proposing in Chicago. It has produced, like I said, a dangerous situation for the people living there, but also the police that are supposed to be answering these 911 calls. And now they're short-staffed, having to figure out which ones they have to go to. It is mass chaos, and it is a dangerous situation for everybody included.
Hey, Nick, and the SLMPD stopped posting crime statistics in December of 2020. They've not posted anything for 2021. If you look back at December of 2020...
Where are you talking about for St. Louis City?
For St. Louis City, correct.
Okay.
Sorry, SLMPD for St. Louis City. If you look back at December 2020, the last month it was posted, you will see that crime rose 72% from December of 2019. So how can they justify in this area, in this state, in the city of St. Louis, to not hire additional officers, but in fact to eliminate those positions? And obviously we have over 85-something officers on this exclusion list. How can they continue to make excuses for this?
Well, the one clear answer is there's no common sense when it comes to politics. This basically shows that. You've got the Democrats in the House and the Senate, when asked about defunding the police and defending that position, they get a little ticked off and say, let's not talk about that label. Let's not call it defunding the police. We're reimagining the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is at Sesame Street, thinking that this stuff is going to work. Well, we've got a petri dish. Many other big cities, just like St. Louis and Kansas City, that have tried it. It has failed. Those city leaders are in those other states are wanting to backtrack and bring back police. And unfortunately, we've got people's lives on the line. Now, if you remember correctly, back in 2020, in 2019 and 2020, there was a push by then Mayor Cruson and Jimmy Edwards, the public safety director, and the police chief out there, John Hayden. In 2018, they were against getting rid of this archaic rule, which would require police to live in the city of St. Louis and in the criminal backyard, which they patrol the streets in. That presented a lot of problems. We had officers coming in saying, look, I just arrested this guy. He's out on bond, or Kim Gardner won't prosecute him. And I'm seeing him in the grocery stores, and he's threatening me. Well, in 2019 and 2020, they changed their tone. Cruson and her administration indicated this was a number one priority for them, is they've done the research. They've done the research and found that, yes, this is going to help fill those spots and fill those 100-plus positions that they need to put boots back on the ground in an efficient manner in the city of St. Louis. Now, before the ink is even dry, because we passed that in a special session last year in 2020, before the ink is even dry on that law, and before the bill is even signed to do the same thing in Kansas City, you've got new Mayor Tashara Jones and her administration backtracking despite the data that this will actually help. To answer your question, I have no clue why anyone looking at statistics, looking at facts, looking across the country, and looking at the crime trends in our own backyard think that this is going to work ever.
What do you think the chances of getting Governor Parson to call a special session? Because, Nick, I know sometimes people think I'm negative. I don't think you have a chance at him getting a special session, calling a special session right now after what we just went through in the last session.
Yeah, well, 2020 was a chaotic year. It was very strange when we had special sessions, and in previous years, a call to special session typically results in a resolution of that issue, a bill being passed to address it. We called several special sessions on crime and public safety last year. It was either a blow up in the House or a blow up in the Senate, which resulted in nothing being done, just a couple pieces going to the governor's desk. Now, here we've got an issue with the FRA, the Federal Reimbursement Allowance, and I believe that we're going to have to call a special session on that as well to address the Hyde Amendment issue, which we saw with Joe Biden's budget, removing the Hyde Amendment protections, which would prevent taxpayer dollars from funding abortions, something that has basically never been done in our lifetime. So I believe if we get a call on that, if we get a call for special session on that, I'm hopeful that the governor would say, look, this is a pro-life issue as well. We've got bodies piling up. We've got law enforcement officers that are unable to patrol these streets in an efficient manner. Crime is increasing. We see these jokers the other day jumping on a police cruiser with a police officer inside, with it, a human being inside. And this wasn't a result of a Mike Brown protest or a Cardinals victory. This is every day in the city of St. Louis. So I'm hopeful that if we get a special session on the FRA or this pro-life issue or something else I've even called for is stopping critical race theory in our schools, I'm hopeful that the governor would piggyback off of that and allow us to handle this issue of defunding the police. And yesterday, I know that he indicated that he's still looking at a couple things, whether it's defunding the police, special session on that and public safety, or the FRA and pro-life issues. He's still on the fence. I think ultimately after he does a bill review looking at all the bills that were passed this year and he figures out which ones to sign, which ones to veto, at that time we will definitely know if he's going to call a special session. But I am hopeful, as the governor is a former police officer, he's former military, he understands the importance of law and order in the state of Missouri just as I do. And I think he believes it's incredibly important that we put an end to this goofy movement of defunding the police.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It seems like there's a waterfall of this social wokeism coming at the states. And I think that Parson, in my opinion, has done a good job up to this point. But I think he, in my opinion, needs to get a little bit more proactive like some of these other red state governors and say critical race theory, that will not be taught in the state of Missouri while I'm governor. And working with the legislator and start signing some paperwork, making it official so that Francis Howell and Fort Zumwalt and these other schools don't even have to worry about teaching that crap to our kids, which is brainwashing, and we can do a whole new show on that. But I think Parson is going to probably have to start getting up and being a little bit more proactive about some of these issues. Kind of like a DeSantis. There is no political harm that DeSantis is doing to himself right now. He looks like a rock star, and I think that Parson has to be probably right at that threshold, you would imagine.
Yeah, the people in Florida are responding well to what DeSantis is doing. A former military member himself, and Governor Parson, I know, in the past has come out trying to thread that needle and fix the issue related to Kim Gardner. Failing to prosecute these individuals. That law enforcement says, if Black Lives Matter, I've got the killers here. I've got evidence that you can track these people down and uphold this belief that Black Lives Matter. Oh, yes, they do. All lives matter. But in the city of St. Louis, politics comes first. And that's what we're seeing in the city of St. Louis, in Kansas City. Fortunately, there's some good news in Kansas City where this was pushed through and acted. It has not gone in effect yet in the city of St. Louis. I know the aldermen were meeting last night to go over to Shara Jones's proposal. But in the city of in Kansas City, there was a movement, a lawsuit rather, to stop it and prevent it from happening, going into effect temporarily until the courts can go in and look at it. So hopefully that buys us some time. I know this movement in the city of St. Louis is going to go effect in July 1st, I believe it is. So maybe the governor can see the writing on the wall that this is going to spread to all the major cities. We're going to see Boone County next, Greene County next, and Springfield. Our police officers are suffering. Recruitment is suffering. I've talked to some training facilities that get these young men and women in, train them, and put them back out on the streets and connect them with different departments. And they're at record lows right now. The feeling of whether they're going to be protected by their superiors, by the general public, in this woke cancel culture that we live in, it's resulting in less people wanting to protect and serve our community. So we have to stand up for those good officers, those trained officers that are doing right and upholding the law, and stand against this terrible movement.
But, Nick, I appreciate everything you're doing, obviously. And I have the highest respect for Governor Parson. I absolutely 100% love the man. But I don't think it's his governing style. And I'm not really sure where this is going to go. I know that he is absolutely a man of law and order, being former law enforcement himself. But to date, his governing style has been allowing local leaders to make their own decisions. Do you think that that's something he's going to stick with, a policy he'll stick with, or do you see this actually going somewhere with him?
Good question. Well, that's one thing to allow local officials to govern in a local manner. Some call that local control. I've never been the type to restrain myself and the ability of us as state legislators of stepping in just because of local control. When you look at the 10th Amendment of our Constitution, it lays out clearly there are certain rights and powers and privileges that the federal government has. I think the federal government has stepped on the state's privileges and powers year after year. We've kind of allowed them to take more power from the states, but the rest of those powers go to the states. We can divvy them up as we wish. Missouri can divvy them up through the political subdivisions and say, kind of like Oprah Winfrey giving everybody a humpback whale, you get a power, you get a power. But it's incumbent upon us as state officials to take that power back and step in when the Constitution is being infringed upon. Now we have the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness of the individuals in these areas in St. Louis and Kansas City being infringed upon. People are dying. People's property is being stolen right from under their noses. Crime is going crazy, and what is it doing to our economy? Putting us in the tank. So no one is going to want to invest here. I've said it on this show. I would love to rehabilitate in some way, shape, or form, which it's never going to happen in my lifetime, but to turn St. Louis into Nashville, Tennessee, that is never going to happen. If we can't get control on crime, no one's going to want to come here. No one, even my little girls, want to go, see the baseball game. And I have to look at day games because I don't want to get back out on the streets at 9, 10, 11 o'clock with two little ones, not knowing if we're going to have enough police presence to keep me and my family safe.
Vic, what did I tell you? I told you that last year, didn't I?
What's that?
I said if we can't get hold of crime, DeWitt and the boys down at the Cardinal games are going to have a real hard time getting people in the seats
And I
for
told
7
you the
o'clock
Cardinals
games.
aren't going anywhere.
And Nick
anytime
just said
soon.
exactly that. He goes, I'm looking for
Eric,
day games, man. I'm not going down there.
Eric, that's what Nick is looking for. But I'm going to tell you again, the Cardinals aren't going anywhere.
I didn't say they're going
anytime
anywhere. I'm
soon.
saying DeWitt's going to have a problem if he doesn't get to 1 million people a year because he can't get people in games after 7
The
o'clock.
Cardinals are going to get 1 million people
Okay.
a year again when they have a full season.
I'm telling you,
of
man,
allowing
it's a
fans to
problem.
come in.
It's almost like you're trying, Nick. It seems like you're trying to navigate this airplane, and you want to pull up before you actually hit the mountain. Our government, at least locally, St. Louis and St. Louis County, are having a real hard time pulling the nose of the plane up before they hit this mountain. It's coming. I mean, this is no way that St. Louis is not going to turn into a dilapidated mess here in the next 10 years unless they pull this thing up somehow. I'm giving Deshard.
It's going down quick. Crime is going up quick. And unfortunately, if we don't step in and we don't call a special session, there's no other option for us at this point rather than just waiting until next year to deal with this. If this goes into effect in July, this is going to just cause terrible harm to the police department, terrible harm to the city as a whole in Kansas City and St. Louis. And unfortunately, I think that might be the tipping point to actually send us overboard and make us the next Detroit.
What are the conversations like, if you can give us somewhat of a flavor, that you have with other politicians who disagree with everything that you've spoken about today? Maybe African-American politicians in the state and other, cultures that may not be African-American who agree that defunding police or a reimagination is a good thing? Because I guarantee there's conversations at the state level with you guys. What are those like?
Well, in talking to them in private, I would say half of my colleagues are on the other side of the aisle, half of them, black and white, 100% back my position, 100% believe that, yes, if we go this route, there's no turning back. This might be the tipping point for the city of St. Louis, putting us ultimately overboard in the wrong direction. Yeah. Crime is going to be out of control. But then they get on a microphone and either say the exact opposite when the camera's in their face or don't say anything at all. I wish elected leaders on both sides of the aisle had the intestinal fortitude to stand up and do the right thing. When people of their communities are contacting me with the conversations that I've had with people in those communities in St. Louis City, in Kansas City, saying, please, somebody help us. Nobody is standing up to protect law enforcement, to protect the communities, to protect the job creators and the small business owners in these communities that will ultimately suffer. It is time for me to stand up. It is time for me to join colleagues. I'm thankful we have some on the other side of the state that have already stood up saying, look, Governor, this is going to be bad for our side of the state. Ultimately, it's going to be bad for the state as a whole, as St. Louis and Kansas City are the two biggest economic generators here. Now, St. Charles County is saying, well, what about us? We're doing a lot of good things. We've got Amazon coming in, other facilities coming in, but now crime is starting to creep in, and Tim Lomar is having to up his staff and up his game with law enforcement to combat that violent crime. But, yeah, I just wish that those that actually support this position and support that we cannot go this route of reimagining law enforcement. I mean, it hasn't worked in other states. It's not going to work here. I wish they would have the intestinal fortitude to stand up and say the same things that they're saying when the cameras aren't in their face.
Wow, so you're hearing something different behind the scenes.
100%. 100%.
Why do you think
I filed
that
a bill
is?
this year which would put on the ballot and give the people of Missouri the opportunity to deal with defunding of the police. Put it on the ballot as a whole. People in the entire state can vote on it. and talking to my colleagues and trying to figure out, okay, is this going to work? Are you guys going to try to fight this tooth and nail? And I would say about half of the individuals that I spoke to in the House and the Senate acknowledged this is a problem. I don't know why we're trying to go the route of, quote unquote, defunding the police or taking any resources at times like this when violent crime is at record highs. They need more resources. They need more training to deal with this woke cancel culture that we live in today when people are, so brazen to spit in your face and throw water bottles in your face. I don't know how they can not react to that. I know that would produce some sort of fire in my belly that I would want to do something to prevent that. But when they need more resources, that my friends on the left have indicated, at least half of them, this is not the time to go the route of reimagining how we deal with crime.
The one word that we're forgetting about is attrition. If a cop quits in St. Louis, they're not going to replace that guy. That's another problem.
But, Eric, those jobs were basically open for about 10 years.
I'm not even talking about – fine, those are gone. I'm talking if the bicycle cops down in Washington said, I've had enough, I'm out. They're not going and saying the next day, hey, we got a bicycle cop opening. You want to – no, the attrition rate in St. Louis is going to start to become bad as well.
That has not been said. Is it a possibility? Yes, but that has not been said that they're not going to, quote, replace officers who leave.
Yeah, but this comes down to the analogy of pulling the damn plane up before it hits the side of a mountain. You got to be able to see what's coming, before you have to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but we can't say that they're not going
to
do that.
Why would you? The trend is going down.
Well, then say that's your opinion.
Okay, that's my opinion.
New York City, when they moved for defunding the police last year, what happened? You had a 70% increase in individuals, police officers saying, I want out. I want early retirement. Get me out. And I think it was a 20% increase in individuals saying, okay, I want to transfer. I just want to leave. I don't want any part of this, because they know it's putting their lives at risk. Now, I drove, this morning before jumping on here, dropped my girls off, my two little ones, and I could not imagine a world where I would have to go in the streets in one of the most dangerous cities. St. Louis and Kansas City are always, this past year, they were in the top 5 of the 2 most dangerous cities in America. That's in our own backyard in Missouri.
Of course.
And if you've got little ones and you're going out, busting your butt, working overtime because you can't recruit anybody, nobody wants to work in a department where you bust your butt, you find the criminals, you turn that into the prosecutor, and they fail to do anything. So those criminals are back out on the street, living next to you, finding you in the grocery stores. We passed that bill, but before we even had the opportunity to allow the expansion and allow recruitment process to take place, we're being told, no, we're going to get rid of these amount of positions, 60-something positions. We're going to remove funding. I think it was $4 million. We're going to take out of your coffers when you need it the most, especially for recruitment. And I can't envision a world where I've got to kiss my 2 little ones not knowing if I'm going to come back at home at night. That's why we need to stand up for these Missourians, for our law enforcement officers, and the very individuals that they protect, the average Missourian.
It's just it's a failed system. It's so sad to me. I tell people in St. Louis City, I'm like, get out while you can. I mean, don't live there. Just move. If you're a police officer in St. Louis City, I don't even have words for it. I know so many St. Louis City police officers, and including the former chief of police, Sam Dotson. And these people, they love the city. They love the city. And, and I'm disgusted by what's happening and the exclusion list. All these officers who get up and go to work every day, put their life on the line, and their cases can't even be prosecuted. None of it makes any sense. And people just need to get up and they need to move. Let the criminals take it over. I don't know what else to say. I'm just so frustrated with it.
That cancer lives really damn close to where you live then, Tabitha. And we all know when that cancer metastasizes, what happens.
I'm just fed up with it. I'm fed up with it.
So, well, everybody's fed up with it, but unfortunately, we're fed up with it in different ways. You have the leadership in St. Louis that's fed up with the cops, apparently, and then the people out here in St. Charles and West County fed up with the crime.
St. Louis City police officers are a good group, a great group of people.
It might take a Governor Parson coming in and just cleaning this thing up. I'm sorry to say that. It might take a Parson coming in and cleaning this thing up. That's the only thing.
I think right now that's the only option. That's the only option. We cannot wait until next January.
When is your presser today,
allow
Nick?
this boil to fester of defunding the police, and the damage will be done by that point in time. It will be irreversible. We have to step in and show these people living there that, no, you don't have to move. If you want to live in one of the most historic cities in America, if you want to live right next to Busch Stadium, you can still do that. We've got your back, even though these knuckleheads that are trying to enact these failed policies like defunding the police, we've got your back. I'm hopeful that Governor Parson will see the writing on the wall, that the damage that this will do to the state of Missouri, not just in St. Louis and Kansas City, will ultimately bring the Missouri economy as a whole down.
Nick, real quick, when is your press conference today?
Press conference is going to be at high noon at the Police Union Hall off of Hampton. We're going to have several other legislators. I know Senator Bob Onder is going to be there. He's very passionate. Senator Bill Eigel was hoping to get back from Utah. He had a plane from Utah just for this event, hit a snag. He's going to be landing at noon, so I don't think he will be there. But we're going to have a number of different legislators, members of the public, and law enforcement officers that believe it is time for Governor Parson to step in and call a special session so we can deal with this.
All right, Nick Schroer, St. Peter's representative for the state of Missouri. Nick, thanks again for your time, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.
You.
All right. Wow. Great conversation. Fastest 2 hours of morning radio. That goes by fast, doesn't it?
That's one down.
Damn. Quick first hour with Tim Fitch, St. Louis County Councilman. Then we had Nick Schroer, Missouri State Representative. All right, when we come back, we'll talk more about these subjects. We'll take your questions. You can give us a call, 636-695-2915. We'll also play for our viewers video from Six Flags, a group of young adults attacking a concession stand of turkey legs.
What?
And then fighting with security.
Not the funnel cakes?
Turkey legs.
I said not the chicken leg.
So when we come back.
Sorry. It's true.
We'll go. I didn't even know they had chicken legs.
Yeah, they're good.
Their turkey legs are amazing.
I love the turkey legs.
You don't like chicken legs, Tabitha?
I like chicken legs. I like the turkey legs better. I can make a chicken leg.
Share the show, 100.7 The Viper on Facebook as well. That's 1 hour down. We'll come back and do it again. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Back right after this.
As early as the other shows because we're a lot smarter.
Chances are right now you have a chip or small crack in your windshield, and no matter how much you try to ignore it, it's only going to get worse. Spectrum Glass is the area's leader for both home and auto glass repair and replacement, and Spectrum Glass will come to you, meaning minimal disruption to your busy schedule. They're insurance approved and handle all the paperwork. Look, it's not going to go away, so call Spectrum Glass today at 636-294-1800. Spectrum Glass, 636-294-1800.
Weber Chevrolet has been in business since 1902. No other car dealer in St. Louis of any brand can say that. Nobody sells more Chevrolet, period. Weber Chevrolet is one dealer with 3 roofs. In Missouri at Olive and 270, and in Illinois Metro East, Columbia, and Granite City. All easy to get to, just follow the 270 loop. Also, all online accessible at WeberChevrolet.com. Right now, Weber Chevrolet is open but very thorough in their cleaning, disinfecting, and social distancing rules. And don't forget, Weber Chevrolet service departments are award-winning and second to none. In fact, other dealers send their problems to Weber Chevy to fix. Now during this crisis, Weber Chevrolet has teamed up with Detroit to come up with awesome deals to help people save money and manage their budget. Discounts, incentives, and the ability to not make your payment for up to 4 months. Weber Chevrolet since 1902, WeberChevrolet.com.
Contractors Flooring Supply is your open to the public U.S. Corette, Casabella, Neptune, Nova, Metroflor, and Mohawk waterproof flooring specialist. 12 mil wear layers with premium pad attached at $247 per square foot. 20 mil at $297 a square foot. Nylon residential super dense carpet is just $287 per square foot installed over 8-pound lifetime Mohawk cushion. Dreamweaver Frisee carpet at 99 cents a square foot. Contractors Flooring next to New World King in Warrenton.
Hi, this is Tabitha. I just want to take a moment to talk to you about Rankin Technical College. I think it's important to state that a 4-year degree isn't necessarily what everyone wants. My niece is getting ready to graduate from high school, and a 4-year degree is not for her. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an attorney, you want to rack up $100,000 or more in tuition, then maybe that's what you want to do. But if you want to go to a trade school, right now the demand is high. I'm going to recommend that my niece contact someone at rankin.edu and attend at least their welding class. Her welding class, it's 9 months long. I think it's something she would be great at. Women really excel at these types of careers because in 9 months, she could be out there working, learning some skills. And right now, there are companies hiring out there up to $60,000 for welders. If this is something that might interest you, check out rankin.edu. They are currently taking registrations for enrollments. They have an open house on the 5th, June 5th, rankin.edu.
All right, is that a Q2 or Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. And there he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
The Edge Morning Show is coming right back. Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Viper weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray with my Wednesday forecast. Clouds continue to be the dominant feature with some scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but there's going to be plenty of dry time and certainly no all-day rain. 75 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers, maybe a rumble here and there. 62 for the low. On Thursday, partly sunny skies. It's a little bit warmer. 80 degrees, still a chance of a spot shower or a spot small thunderstorm. Again, nothing close to all-day rains. Friday looking sunny and 85. Saturday sunny and 88. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
Whipper River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey, let's start with some sports. The Cardinals got a big victory last night over the Dodgers in L.A. Final score 3-2. Tyler O'Neill back healthy with the team and showing what a valuable asset he's become. Not only did he steal a base in the last inning to help the Cardinals go ahead, he made a game-saving catch.
Yes, he did.
Cardinals, lots of defense. Chris, you were not supposed to be up.
I was up.
All right.
I had to watch.
All right.
Playing the Dodgers.
Yes, Cardinals got it done. However, the Cubs are the hottest team in baseball, and they've got 11 people on their deal. I don't know. They still won. They keep winning, like 10 of 11 games. Cardinals are still a half game behind for first place in the division. Also, marijuana users are welcome at Amazon. I repeat, marijuana users are welcome at Amazon. They will not be testing job seekers for cannabis. So there you go. Amazon making that making that known as Eric laughs over in the corner. What's funny about that? Okay, anyway. Hey, Garth Brooks is coming to Kansas City August 2021 if you want to listen to Garth, and he's coming close, so wanted to give you that news. Major League Soccer's commissioners coming to St. Louis today to check out construction on the new stadium, and you haven't seen it yet. It looks pretty damn cool. We have our drone video and Bommarito Automotive Skygroup Fox over the scene. Looks pretty good. It got a lot of construction done on it. Looks pretty good. Slain Police Captain David Dorn from St. Louis City will be honored during Memorial in Forest Park today. That is open to the public. Walmart, there's your store, Eric. Walmart's extending the hours that were cut during the pandemic, so now you can spend more time with your best friends at Walmart, getting all your deals. I know you're excited about that.
After 11.
Residents calling for Sam Page to resign at the St. Louis County Council meeting as they resumed in-person meetings last night, but Sam Page wasn't there. Stop that, Chris. Sam Page was not there. that's become a controversial thing. He'll have to come at some point in time, and then all of this becomes just a bigger story. And a sheriff is investigating the death of a 32-year-old mother of 2 who was found hanging in a prison shower. She was only supposed to be there for 120 days at a special women's prison for drug possession, but she ends up dying. That's a look at your morning headlines. I'm Vic Faust.
Edge Morning Show.
And we come right back with
Tell you
that
what.
right now. Yes, Eric.
It's just crazy that Walmart decided to close its hours because of COVID. It's like you'd think that it would be better to spread everybody out. But that was my thing, man, going to Walmart at like midnight when nobody was there. I'm so happy about that. I feel like I can decompress now. So thank you for that information. Also, I love on Fox 2, Hall of Famer Tony La Russa says, "Do you know who I am?"
I voted to not bring that up. Right
Do you
now.
know who I am? I am a Hall of Famer. And the cop probably went, "Which Hall of Fame? Excuse me, the Football Hall of Fame?"
Eric's talking about dash cam video from Tony La Russa's DUI pullover.
I saw that.
I gotta watch
I'm
it.
a Hall of Famer.
Do you have any idea who I am? Not
I'm a
really.
Hall of Famer.
I'm a Hall of Famer. Let me show you my jacket. They don't get jackets in MLB, do they? I guess they do. You get a trophy, look, a certificate. I was waiting for that one anyway.
Yeah,
I'm so happy about Walmart. I can't.
It wasn't
stand
his best moment, that's for sure. That's for sure. Hey, from the Facebook line, from Facebook. By the way, Eric Johnson's here, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Thanks again for listening. It was a fast hour. We're going to have another fast hour here. If you want to give us a call, feel free. We got a lot of talk time right now. 636-695-2915. 636-695-2915. Also, on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. And, of course, we appreciate it when you share the show. Governor Parson looking weak with all the stuff that's happening in the state. And it's an interesting point because that goes back to what you said, Eric. When you do have some governors who are going what I call overboard to do what they think is protecting their state, and you have another Republican governor who isn't doing the same things, that can make them look, quote, weak. Tabitha calls it a different governing style, so you've got two sides to that.
I think it's like this. It's an analogy time. It's like you have a special needs kid, and the parents say, you know what, we trust you enough to take care of this house. We're going to go on vacation, and we expect it to be in the same kind of shape when we return. Well, the special needs kid does not know how to handle the house. Well, that's what Sam Page is acting like, as a special needs child. He does not know how to handle St. Louis County. He does not know how to interact with the people that he's supposed to be working with, his colleagues, in other words. And I feel like it's time for the adult in the state, Governor Parson, to walk in and go, I've had enough.
I don't see him doing that. As much as I would like to see
it is time for you to clean your room. You don't even know how to clean your room. Why don't you just go sit on the couch while I have people come in and clean your room for you? I just don't think it's time for this political nature of St. Louis County to be over, because St. Louis County can still be saved. It can still be saved.
But here's what Governor Parson is going to say. He's going to say there's a reason why we have local elections, and there's a reason why
I get that.
Our local leaders are left to make the decision. The people who live in these communities voted this person in. And when you vote for someone, your vote actually matters.
The problem with that is that there's people that hurt, that are like in the moment hurting.
Then then you know what, they should have done more to change the votes. And if they don't like who was
I
voted
voted
for, then they need to move.
So it's like I voted for a captain of this boat, but the captain of the boat said, I'm going to run this boat into I'm going to run it into a rock so it sinks. But and the governor's looking at the boat sinking, going, I'm not going to help those people because you voted for that. No.
It's not that he doesn't want to help those people. He's governing, I think, in this. And I would love to see him come in and say, no city in St. Louis or in the state of Missouri can defund police. I would love for him to say that. And I know he would like to say that.
I think he needs to do this.
That's not his governing style.
I really don't know how these executive orders work coming out of Jeff City. But I think that if you could sign a piece of paper saying no critical race theory in any public schools, none, you cannot defund your police because you think it's political or whatever. It's fashionable. I would say that you can't shut businesses down without some kind of a check and a balance. That's all he really has to do.
But he's not going to do that. That's not his governing style.
I'm just saying.
And I as much as I don't like what's going on with defunding police, I agree with Governor Parson's style. He's right. Local people who live in these communities, they elect the local leaders that they think best fits them. And if you live in St. Louis City or you live in St. Louis County and you don't like your local leaders, then guess what?
I don't look at it as local at all.
I
look at it as statewide. If I go into the state of Missouri, I know that every place I decide to travel, Hannibal, St. Louis, St. Louis County, Kansas City, they're all
That's
safe.
because you want it to go your way. And I want
I
it
want
to go,
all everything to okay.
I do too.
Vic, help me out,
but the
brother,
other
man.
side of that is there's other people. If Governor Parson did that, they would turn against him because unfortunately, a lot of people like Sam Page. A lot of people like Tashara Jones. A lot of people want to defund police. And what if they said, well, Governor Parson went the other direction and they want him to allow this to happen in every city and allow these shutdowns and restrictions to happen in every area?
Well, just remember what we just heard from Nick Schroer. He said it 3 times. Officials, political people in our state who've been elected, who on camera say they're for defunding or, quote, reimagining police and how we do it. He said most of them are the same people in closed-door sessions go, you're right, if we defund police, this is what's going to happen. Taking police away is not going to help the situation. But then when pressed about it on camera, they have to say something different. Why is that? Why do the same people feel like if they're on camera, they can't say what they really feel?
Well, why do you think? Because it's not politically expedient to do such things.
Because they won't win
What
the
are you
next
talking-
election is why.
Yeah, what do you mean? It's like,
So, Eric,
why?
now you're making my point, and this is what I mean.
Okay.
They're worried that people they represent really are for defunding police.
Exactly. People voted for them with the expectation.
Why else would you be afraid? Who's going to remove you from office except your own constituents?
Exactly.
It is such a fashion statement. It's like, have you ever seen somebody that wears these clothes that they suck, but it's just that it's the fashion of the moment. It's kind of like, this is not going to live forever because you're going to defund the cops. Fine. You just defunded the cops. And guess what? Your community has now turned into a ball of blank.
Well,
Detroit went through this thing for 20 years, remember, and now they're on their way back.
Well,
Detroit, Michigan.
It wasn't because of a lack of police, Eric. It was no. It wasn't.
Well, you
because of a
live there.
lack-
Tell me why it was.
It was because they didn't have money. It was they just kind of forgot about the city. Nobody really cared, and then boom, they started putting money back into the city, and the crime was nowhere near what it is in St. Louis. That's the issue. People actually feel safe going to Detroit. 4 sports teams within a couple blocks of each other. Restaurants. I mean, when you have 8 billionaires that live in the state and 5 of them actively get involved to reimagine Detroit and actually get it done, and the crime is the biggest thing. They didn't have lack of officers. The crime that goes on in Detroit was in one specific area, and it's unfortunate because it was 18 to 28-year-old African-American on African-American crime is what was going on. Gang-related battles, drug-related battles, and it stayed in neighborhoods that were away from the city. That's why. Those are what the police told us. So we got other issues. We got a lawless society, and this is what, when you talk about breaking laws and when you see, younger people stomping a police car into destruction, it was a total, by the way, and not thinking it's a big deal because, society, it's not that big of a deal. It's the slippery slope that I talk about. Once you let any kind of lawlessness go on, where do you stop? For our listeners, you won't be able to see the video, but for our Facebook users, we're going to play you a video that happened here at Six Flags. This is video, and you'll hear it, of turkey legs being stolen from a concession stand. A big, huge, barrel full of them, and then people running everywhere. At the end of this video, which is 1:50 long, you will see police get one person. It's a female, and then you have people ridiculing security for taking one person as they say, oh, it was just a turkey leg. You're going to arrest somebody for just taking a turkey leg. Well, theft is theft, right? And this was a big group of people, as you see on the video.
Wow.
So I don't want to take my kids to Six Flags if this is what's going to be going on.
Vic, you're making my points for me, babe.
This is the last thing that I want my kids to see.
You're making my points for me.
Or my youngest one, at least.
You're making my points for me, man. How long do you think Six Flags is going to stay open if this escalated into other areas?
They're not going anywhere. Six Flags isn't going anywhere.
There's a few closed amusement parks in the country right now because they can't get crowd to come. Look, if you're not going to go out there, you don't think there's another 100,000 families that aren't going to go out there because they see stuff like this?
Well, the video we picked up, it was as they were stealing the turkey legs, the group of people.
Look, there's a picture of turkey leg laying on the ground. They wasted it.
Well, when you're,
but if it was a chicken leg, it wouldn't be sitting on the ground.
But there were multiple people stealing them. They were able to get one person, a female.
And that's the part that right there that bothers me, because they totally bypass the fact that she's fighting with security,
and she just had theft. It's just a turkey leg.
I know it's not just a turkey leg, and no, I mean she was struggling and swatting at police officers. You don't do that, and yes, if you do that, you are going to go to jail.
I mean,
you don't steal and you don't fight with security or police. You just don't do it.
Well, they got one of the
people
100,
are not doing a good job teaching their children. If we have grown adults wondering,
Chris, can you start that video over again?
Yeah.
Just so people who are joining us can actually see that. It's not. I mean, it's one thing to steal. It's another thing to justify doing it.
Yeah,
absolutely so.
They're like, well, she shouldn't be arrested. It was only a turkey leg.
Look,
well, where
that's
does
somebody's
it stop?
business.
Then it's a car.
That's money.
Then it's somebody's gun. Then it's somebody's property.
And those turkey legs are expensive. That's probably $100 worth of turkey legs.
It's like Shady Gators. I've never seen anybody get shot at Shady Gators in the last 10 years I've been playing there. Boom! It's happening.
I believe
it's
that
not
was black on black too,
It's
wasn't
not
it?
going to happen. You have now crossed the threshold, everybody. If you go to Six Flags over Mid-America, there's a damn good chance you're going to be part or at least
You might
witness
get hit in
crime.
the head with a turkey
From
leg.
the Facebook line, I blame parents first and foremost.
Absolutely so.
I cannot agree any more. Everything starts at home.
They don't know right
and
from
if you
wrong.
don't discipline your kids, what do you think's going to happen? Crap like this will happen, putting everybody. This puts security officers in a bad situation.
It sure does.
This puts police in a bad situation. This puts people who paid a lot of money to go to Six Flags, who might be standing around there, in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Kids seeing this. Is this what you do? Is this not what you do? Why are they doing that to that poor woman? I mean, you've got every sort of emotion. This should not happen over somebody thinking that they're above the law because that's what they've been taught and stealing a bunch of turkey legs. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You could also have the other side, oh, it's only turkey legs. Okay, fine. If you do it, if you do the crime, you do the time. When police try to get you, you don't fight back.
No.
And punch security officers. I mean, wow.
That's not how they think, Vic.
Wow.
Vic.
Wow.
This is a product. This is a product of these cats seeing Molotov cocktails flying through 7-Elevens all over the country this summer. They are programmed to look at being entitled to anything they want and having no retribution, because guess what we saw this summer or last summer? We saw crime. We saw crime every minute of every day last year, and it was because of social uprising. It was a cute thing. It wasn't a criminal thing. It was a cute thing. We talk about being desensitized by games, by these video games. Now you need to talk about being desensitized by what you see on the news and on Twitter and on Facebook. This is not anything new for them.
It's not.
It just happens to be at Six Flags. That's all.
It's not anything new. It's
come
it's
on,
not about
are you
poverty.
surprised?
I'm not
Are
surprised.
you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Come on, don't be surprised.
But it's not about poverty. These people weren't stealing these turkey legs because they wanted to eat because they're hungry. They did it because they have absolutely no respect
here's why they
for
did
the
it.
people
No,
working the
here's why
stand
they
or
did
for
it.
Six
Here's
Flags.
why they did it. They didn't. It wasn't a one-off like some guy just going and being sneaky and picking.
They probably thought it was funny.
No. Here's the deal. There's this new thing. It's this gang mentality. They walk into a business, 25 of them. If they catch one of them, but they're not going to catch 30. They're not going to catch 24 of the other ones. It's a trend. So this makes total sense to me. They see a bucket of turkey legs.
No, we don't know if these people knew each other.
It doesn't matter.
We have no idea.
If that guy gets it, I want it. Why are we surprised? Our leaders
somebody
are
hasn't
morons.
taught these kids right from wrong.
Our leaders
That's the problem. These kids who are here at Six Flags.
You need to chill. It's fine. You can blame it on the parents. You can blame it on the churches.
I
you can
definitely blame it on the parents.
But you also have to blame it on our leaders. There's no consequence in society anymore. If you go and steal a car and get it back to St. Louis, you're not getting caught. It's a game. So our leaders don't put any emphasis on the deterrent factor. There's no deterrent for them to do this.
But think about this. I've been to Six Flags many times. I've never stolen a turkey leg or a bag
Tabitha,
of cotton candy.
Why do you even bring it up? Of
Can
course
I
you
at least
haven't.
finish what I'm saying?
You haven't done it because you have you.
I get it, but can I say what I'm trying to say, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
But make it in context to what we just saw.
I'm making it in context of the fact that when I grew up, if I would have went to Six Flags and I would have stolen a turkey leg or anything for that matter, my parents would have murdered me. I would never see the light of day for 6 months or more. I mean, they would take everything I had away. I probably would have been beaten, and I would have never done it again. But you know what? I've never done anything like that because I knew the consequences of my actions. These kids don't know. They don't understand the consequences because when this happens and these parents see this video, nothing's going to happen to most of these kids.
Well,
No, the parents will probably laugh.
I mean, even if you have, and people can make fun of me all they want, but if you have a love of God, of right and wrong, I would be more worried about what God thought about me as a kid growing up.
Well, now you're bringing in the spirit, the religious part.
No, it's not real. It's morality.
Right, morality. The morality part.
Having
Yes,
morals.
Exactly.
I mean, and you don't even have. You can. I've got an atheist acquaintance friend who's one of the kindest men I ever met, and he would never do anything like this.
Right.
So you have two levels. I just said, from my perspective, for me, it's a God thing too. It's number one, it's your parents,
Absolutely.
yourself. But it's like, why would I want to hurt somebody else or hurt their profits and take from them? Who am I to think that I'm so special that I can do this? And then when my friend gets arrested, start yelling at police, degrading police for doing their job because I say, it's only a turkey leg.
I'm shocked by that comment. That's the part that aggravates me more than anything.
Me too. Exactly.
When they started taking the turkey legs, they should have just hit one of them in the head with a turkey leg.
And the video we're
I'd have
talking
thrown
about
one
was
at
from
him.
Six Flags. For people who are listening, we have far more people who stream us at viperrocks.com and listen on radio, 100.7 FM, The Viper.
It's crazy.
But those who are watching on Facebook could actually see the video, and we're talking about what happened at Six Flags.
You know,
and
when
getting to your
when I heard there's a shooting over at Lazy Gators this weekend, 20 years ago, I would have been in fear. I would have been in shock. I would have been like, "What the? You got to be!" I wasn't in shock at all. I was like, "Oh damn! Oh, it got to the lake. How about that? All right, let's go get a beer." That is how we're living right now. So when I see this
But
turkey,
honestly, what was
I see the turkey leg episode, I'm not in any. That's not shocking to me. It's like, well, there you go. There's the society you've built for yourself.
I want your total honesty here, Eric. I'm going to ask you a question. So I was at the lake. You were at the lake. The shooting takes place at Lazy Gators, which is next door to Shady Gators. When you heard about it, when the sound engineer came across and said, there's an active shooter here, everybody needs to exit the stage.
Right.
What was your first thought? Did you think that it would be black on black? Did you think a black person would be involved?
No.
Did you think it would be two white people? What'd you think?
We asked Eric this question yesterday.
I can tell you what I thought.
I didn't. No, because I.
Oh, come on, Eric.
No, let me be
Eric,
honest.
how many times have you played Shady Gators?
A lot, but let me.
And how has the crowd changed?
Well, you mean demographic wise? Well,
You
in
betcha.
front of our stage, it's there. I would have thought, man,
Eric,
it's white on white.
The overall scheme, the overall attendance for that facility has changed dramatically in the past 5 to 7 years.
Well, that wasn't the first thought I had.
Oh, how could it not be?
No, it was.
How could it not be, Eric?
No,
Would
it
you
was-
think some white girl shot another white girl?
Well, to be honest with you,
But Chris, you never know what's going to happen.
It's a
You have a
generational.
pretty good, you have
You're
a
trying
pretty
to-
good
Eric-
judgment,
No,
man.
but it sounds like you're saying it's because there's more African Americans there that it was black on black.
No. Doesn't have anything to do with that. The
Because earlier
crowd
you said
has
it was
changed. The crowd has changed. It used to be a little bit of an older crowd that went there. Now it's a very, very young crowd.
So then it has nothing to do with race.
It has nothing to do with
Okay,
color.
because earlier you said it was black on black crime.
Well,
that
it is a
happened there.
black on black crime. And when you get all these young people together, and yes, there is a lot of black folk that go there, there's a lot of white folk that go there. But to me, when I think, okay, somebody just got shot on a dock, me knowing the crowd there, it automatically like raises red flags. Bet this is a black on black crime. It's not being racist. It's not being rude. It's not being ignorant. It's just common sense. It's common sense. Because when's the last time somebody got shot and killed at a bar or a nightclub in Lake Ozark, Missouri, in the central part of Missouri.
To me, it was.
It doesn't happen.
To more, it's a generational thing. This generation is seeing things that we didn't see when we were kids. That's the thing. It's like we were. Think about this. We were brainwashed. However, we were brainwashed to become how we are right now. Our brainwashing stemmed from, like Tabitha said, our parents. It started there. We had this expectation of going to school and graduating, and we had this expectation of going to college after that, and we had this expectation of living a purpose-filled life. At some point, that changed. I don't know where that changed. I don't know how that changed. But when I heard about the shooting in the Lake of the Ozarks, I thought to myself, this is not a black thing. It's not a purple thing. It's not a Latino thing or a Chinese thing. This is a generational thing. It's the people that stick their heads in the Call of Duty games. It's the people that stick their heads in Twitter and TikTok and the guys on Facebook that point the guns at each other. I thought that's where we're living right now. You just either have to grin and bear it or you have to dismiss yourself from it. So the point was I wasn't surprised. When you showed the turkey leg video, I was like, I'm not shocked. You guys have let these people get away with it.
But it's disappointing.
No, I'm not
It's
shocked
disappointing.
either. It's just disappointing.
That's the problem I'm having with it. I'm not shocked. That's why I'm having a major problem with
this. And
this.
it feels as if we're seeing more and more of these types of incidents happen nationwide. And that's what frustrates me. I mean, we've already heard instances of 12, 13, 14-year-olds stealing cars all over America. Tabitha brought up at the beginning of the show, which we have not had a chance to get into, which kind of parlays into what this whole turkey legs being stolen videos from Six Flags, and then fighting police/security guards to get away,
and then being the victim again.
And then you have exactly,
because then they start filming each other,
and then you're the victim saying, "How dare you arrest somebody just for a turkey leg?"
Yeah,
no, it's not just that.
I mean, they think it's okay.
Well, the people, they being the group that was
whoever
there.
stole the turkey leg,
correct, But
it wasn't clear. I couldn't tell what happened in the beginning. Why the box of turkey legs was on the side of the turkey leg stand.
Well, that's where they, a lot of times those turkey
Is that
legs
where they're just storing
stored?
them?
Yeah.
So somebody
Absolutely.
ran over there and knocked it over, and then they all started
attacked.
attacking and taking the
these
turkey
kids
legs.
attacked like savages.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. It is like savages because it's wrong. That's something that you cannot do. You can't do it. Eric, I know you don't like me saying this, but it does come back to parenting, in my opinion.
Okay, wait.
As does so much of the crime that happens right now.
Hold on, let me agree with you for a second. I agree, but let me go a little bit farther. Fine, your parenting sucks. You are one of 9 kids, and you have a single mom that has 6 dads to the 9 kids, and you come out of that, and you decide to do this. Okay, fine. You have a horrible life at home. You have no upbringing. Now it's time for the cops to get involved. It's time for law enforcement to get involved. It's time for if you do the crime, like Chris said, you're going to do the time. That's the last line of defense is our law enforcement. So I agree with you.
Or we could be proactive and we could find mentors for these children to come into their lives.
You got a million mentors out there? Come on, man.
I think mentorships work if it's applied the right way. I mean, we need a lot of them, just like the Boys and Girls programs. You know, I think that there's ways to interject positive in a child's life at a young age.
It's too late.
If they start, but they have to start young.
If you're at the point where you think it's okay
for these kids
to go to
it's too
Six
late.
Flags and rampage a turkey leg market, if you will, it's too late.
Well, they have to start at a very young age. I mean, there's no question about it.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, cancer is you have stage 1, 2, 3, 4. We are at stage 5 cancer. There's going to come a point where this is just not going to get turned around. And the people that know that are going to move away. This region is going to become New York City. It is. Don't worry. I mean,
it's just our society in general. Like Vic and I were talking about with the 2 kids, the 12 and 14-year-old who lived in foster care. I mean, they ran away from foster care. That part I understand. It happens all the time. But they broke into someone's house, stole an AK-47 and some other high-powered rifle, and got in a shootout with police. A 12 and a 14-year-old. The 14-year-old was shot multiple times and is in critical condition. They're going to release the video today. They may have already done so. How can we look at our society and think that we've done the right thing when we have 12 and 14-year-olds living in foster care in a situation that's so bad where they don't have parental love, they don't have anyone to mentor or care for them, and they somehow think it's okay to break into someone's house as a robbery and steal weapons. I mean, that's not okay.
No, but
and we're doing more.
Adults are to blame too, though, Tabitha. If you look at this incident at the lake and you kind of wrap it up with this Turkey Lake thing, that whole thing started with an altercation.
Yes.
Them two individuals
got
into a fight.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of the
One
shootings
went back,
start.
grabbed
a
a
fight.
gun, came back, and
You know,
shot him.
we
and killed him.
used to talk about all this stuff, and it was like you have to have this quote unquote honest conversation. It looks like this is the honest conversation. Tashara Jones knows if I get rid of my cops, this is going to get real unsafe real quick.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
She understands 1 + 1 = 2.
She's listening
she gets
to the
it.
people of St. Louis.
Who cares who she's listening to? I would love to have
What do you
free
mean, who
Les Paul.
cares?
I would
You
love.
don't live in the city.
I would love a free Les Paul for everybody
But
in
Eric,
St. Charles
we've
County. It's not
already
going to happen.
seen- Eric, we've already seen who is being elected over and by
Her
over,
job
and
is
by
literally
and by
keep this
overwhelming.
community safe.
It doesn't matter what her job is. Her job is to listen to her constituents.
Yep.
Whether that's ends up keeping it safe or not.
That's the people in St. Louis City
St.
voting
Louis
her in.
City have now voted 3 women of color who they love into office, who all have the same ideals, thinking, and way of moving forward.
Well, what are you going to do in the news, the media, when are you going to give the stats every single day that Tashara Jones's St. Louis, Missouri is now the #1 crime-ridden capital of the world?
Well, they're not reporting
No,
crimes.
and the way that you guys couch the words is very important.
Homicides, they are.
They're reporting
we got
homicides.
count of the homicides.
But for 2021, the St. Louis City is not reporting crime statistics. They stopped in December of 2020, and we
Yeah, I
need
bet they
answers
did.
as to why.
Because the numbers don't go that high.
Yeah, how do we know what is actually going on with crime in the city if we can't see the numbers? How do we know? And no one's calling them out for
Okay,
it.
well, I'm just saying that Vic and Channel 4 and Channel 5 and KMOX, these stations have to start calling St. Louis what it is. It's the
We
crime
do.
capital of the world.
We
Welcome
do.
to the crime capital of the world segment today. Let's go over the stats. Screw the COVID stats. Let's go with the St. Louis stats from now on. Now the homicides are way up at
Well, you got me on that one. because
250?
I don't get to choose. COVID should not be talked about as much as the crime stats. That's a fact.
I'm just saying this city is doomed unless they change their ways.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. We're going to continue this conversation right after the break. Share the show, 100.7 The Viper. We'll try to get to more of your comments. We appreciate the interaction. There's not interaction with another show like we have here. Look at the comments. How many? It really is that big, and it's all because of you. We appreciate you. If you want to call us, you can. 636-695-2915. We'll be back right after this with more Edge. It's 9:30.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Live on 100.7.
The Viper.
Hi, Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peters. Right now, we're paying top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. At Bellman Car Connection, we'll take anything on trade, van, Jeep, truck. Spring into a quality pre-owned car, truck, Jeep, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in today before someone else buys the one you want. Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peters at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
Did you know 85.6 million Americans live with heart disease? It's important to know your personal risk. Barnes Jewish St. Peter's and Progress West hospitals offer a free online heart health assessment you can take from home. Visit bjcstcharlescounty.org/hearthelp and get advice on what you can do to keep your heart healthy. You'll also receive a customized report to discuss with your doctor. Visit bjcstcharlescounty.org/hearthelp.
Greenbox Capital, an alternative lender, is here to help small to medium-sized businesses with the funding needed to build back during these challenging times. And for a limited time, is offering 10% off the cost of working capital. Visit greenboxcapital.com/radio to fill out a short form and connect with a real advisor who will work with you to create the best funding solution. Mention the code RADIO to redeem your special offer. With funding as low as $3,000 up to $500,000 in all industries across the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Canada, Greenbox Capital can help with your financial needs today. Visit greenboxcapital.com/radio. Again, that's greenboxcapital.com/radio. Get the business funding you need while saving 10% off the cost of working capital. Visit greenboxcapital.com/radio. Greenbox Capital, fast funding for small businesses.
One of the things we're so dependent upon is our automobiles. There's no worse feeling when you go out to your car and it won't start. Oh, man. Tired of trying to find an honest, reliable mechanic for your car and truck? Town and County Garage in Wright City has kept the Westplex on the road since 1972. The biggest compliment to a company is repeat customers and referrals. When you need honest, reliable, and affordable auto repair from inspections, brakes to engine work, call Town and County Garage in Wright City, 636-745-3626.
Remember the beautiful pop and hiss listening to a brand new vinyl album? The warmth in the air, the magic of the sound. Vinyl can't be replaced, and vinyl is back. TheFinestVibes.com sells thousands of premium and collector's vinyl with hundreds of albums under $20, delivered straight to your door. Lynyrd Skynyrd, Bob Dylan, The Beatles, Prince, AC/DC, Queen, Frank Sinatra. TheFinestVibes.com has them all. Shop now. TheFinestVibes.com.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. There he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Welcome back to The Edge. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. Vic Faust of Fox 2. Thanks for joining us, everybody. 9:34 on this Tuesday, actually Wednesday, June 2nd. All right. We've had a lot to talk about so far today. Eric, I was trying to get to a point, too, when it came to what we just saw happen at Six Flags. It leads into, too, what Tabitha brought up. You had a story last night, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, in a shootout.
What?
With police. And was it Orlando?
It was in Volusia County. I'm not sure what city. Volusia County.
Where does a 12-year-old get a gun to shoot anybody?
Well, they broke into a home.
And
That's what I was just talking about.
At 12 years old.
They broke into a home.
Wow. Well.
One of the 14-year-old hit a staff member at the group foster home with a stick, made a run for it, took the 12-year-old boy with her, and then they broke into a home. A neighbor heard the glass breaking, called the police. And I believe the 12-year-old had a pump-action shotgun, and the 14-year-old had an AK-47, which they stole from the homeowner. And then they ended up in a shootout with police with the 14-year-old being shot multiple times. The 12-year-old was not injured.
I'll tell you what a perplexing situation that is.
Exactly.
There's nothing more dangerous than a 12-year-old kid with a firearm that doesn't know how to, bring himself back from the edge of shooting somebody, because that's what they do all day long on those video games. And if you have a pumped shotgun in your house, you better, I hate to say it, but you better use it quick, because you're going down if you don't. It's unbelievable what's going on right now. Something I don't even know how you fix it. It's perplexing. These stories are unbelievable.
Well, the outrageous part to me, as I said earlier before you came in this morning, Eric, is that these two kids are in a group foster home, 12 and 14 years old. I don't know how long they've been there, but I think most people would agree, a group foster home is not a good place for children. They don't get that one-on-one care. They don't have the love of a family or parent. They don't have that support. But yet we have immigrant children coming in, unaccompanied minors crossing our border, and they are skipping ahead to the front of the line for adoption and for foster homes. Yeah. And that is not right, in my opinion. We have hundreds of thousands of American children without homes in foster care.
I think it's abuse.
And some foster homes and foster care are probably good places.
I saw a story this morning where the cartel dropped off a 5-year-old kid at the border wall.
I saw that.
And the kid was screaming and crying for help. And I was thinking,
he was terrified.
And he was the face of Kamala Harris. When I saw that, I thought, where is Kamala, the czar of the border right now, taking care of this kid? Oh, don't worry, some patrol officer will come and get this kid.
Well, Kamala's...
She is a fool. She is a
I'm not going to call her a fool, but here's what I will call her. She is inadequate for the position she is in, or
incompetent,
or she is intentionally staying away because she knows it's a lose-lose situation.
Absolutely.
With what they're trying to do at the border.
There's no question.
And
what are they trying to do at the border? Where is the transparency?
Allowing people in, Eric. Come on.
For what
you know
reason?
What
for what reason?
Border.
What's the end goal? What's the end goal? Say it.
You tell me.
No, you tell me.
I don't know what the end goal is.
Well, we know what the end goal is voting. They're looking for voters. There's no other way around it.
Generational voting
been alleged.
Team. Alleged?
Yes.
And we can only speculate, but in my opinion, it is they are looking for voters. They want to change the voting age to 16 and make it easier for people to vote.
But the fact that you have a president who says Kamala Harris is going to be in charge of the border, and then the vice president basically says, F you, president, to her boss and says, I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
And she hasn't. And Joe Biden hasn't done anything about it. It makes, whether you voted for Biden or not, it makes him look really, really, really weak. It makes him look frail. It makes him look old. It makes him look powerless. And it just puts him in a bad situation. And it makes Kamala look like she's in charge. Now, some people may like that.
How can you be in charge when you haven't taken a press conference in 70 days?
But the boss is Joe Biden, who said she will be in charge of it, and she gave her middle finger to him and hasn't done anything.
No, he's the face of the country. He's not actually the boss.
She doesn't say she's in charge of the border.
No,
Do you hear that?
Boss. He's the president.
She said that she's overseeing a committee to diplomatically talk to these nations in the southern hemisphere. That's her job. And if we somehow fix the border, that's fine too. No one is taking care of this border situation.
Well, they don't want, the problem is they want open borders. They say they don't, but it's very clear they want open borders. They don't want us to recognize that there is a border. But what's so funny about that, try to come across in Canada. I mean, you'll be arrested immediately.
Try to come across from American Airlines from Heathrow to St. Louis. You will be in customs for 5 hours. So, I mean, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
You cannot fly here without your immigration papers, without your proper visa or other documents. You cannot cross from Canada into the United States without your proper documents. Yeah. But when you're on the southern border, anything goes. People can walk across the border. They send their unaccompanied children. We have no choice but to keep these children.
Do you ever sit up at night and think that it's like the Dutch dam, and Joe Manchin is the one with his finger in the dam right now. And Joe Manchin, the whole thing of them letting all these immigrants over the border right now depends on Joe Manchin not voting for this SR1 thing about the voting law, because that gives these people, these hundreds of thousands, 200,000, millions of people, the right to vote. And guess who they're going to vote for? Look, it's time to start calling what we think is going on here.
Well,
we have to be able to
proven.
do deductive reasoning. I know Vic can't do it, but we can.
Well,
we can say
Eric,
the reason.
It's proven.
Right.
We know it's a fact because
no,
you know
it's
why?
not proven.
No, it is. Because,
no, because they're doing it for humanitarian purposes.
Well, no, but you know what? What a lot of people don't know or understand is that when these people come into the United States and they settle here, undocumented people, when they settle, wherever they settle, we have resettlement coordinators that go out into their home, wherever they're staying, and they talk to them about voting. And they very much do explain to them, you are here because of Democrats. If you vote Democrats, these are the people who will likely keep you here. If you vote Republican, these are the people who are going to want to expel you. And they are definitely bringing them in
You're smart.
And sending out these coordinators to teach them to vote Democrats.
You're smart beyond your years. There's no doubt about that. That's the
proven.
truth.
It is actually happening.
And a strong president, and we don't have one. So don't think that I'm not talking about this president because he's not strong. He would be taking care of this hacking thing that just shut down a quarter of our meatpacking plants.
He just suspended the Arctic oil and gas leasing
up in Barrow, Alaska.
In the Arctic,
Okay,
I didn't even
Barrow.
look to see what city it was in.
That's weak. He would not have shut down tens of thousands of workers working on pipelines. He would be looking right now at COVID-19 coming from a lab in Wuhan and demanding answers. He would not let Putin get his pipeline. I mean, there are so many unbelievable things going on with this administration.
Well, it's all leading to socialism, whether you see it or not.
The only thing that this fool can talk about is race. That's the only thing that this guy wants to talk about.
Well, that's the popular thing right now.
It's crazy. I mean, did you see his speech yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
We are all evil white people.
Well, I didn't like. I don't have a problem with him bringing up what happened in the past. I'm a big believer
I
in
love that.
Tulsa,
No,
absolutely.
I agree with you, Vic. I agree.
How he said it. It could have been done differently. How he did try to quote point everything at quote white people. The other thing,
and he's reading a speech. Keep that in mind. He does not write those speeches.
Exactly. He is reading that. But he read it with passion and more energy than I've seen from him in a while.
Do you realize that when
Because
he
he
was giving his
practices.
speech yesterday and he was talking about the KKK and how vicious and his best buddy was a
Robert Byrne.
KKK member?
Well,
He gave a
Robert
eulogy,
Byrne.
yeah.
Well, I know,
for
but I
him.
still, no matter what he says, and
he
you
was
ask
the
any African American,
He was the
no matter what
segregation
he
guy.
says now will not change the racist statements he said when he said that Hispanics were unlike African Americans when they were so culturally diverse and smart and creative. He said that during the campaign, but national media won't show that to you. That's just you have to own what you say. Own it.
Absolutely.
Whether you're Trump, whether you're Clinton, Bush, Obama, whatever, you own what you say. And Biden said it. It was one of the most racist things we've ever heard a president say.
He has made some very racial comments in his past.
Now, yesterday, he didn't. Now he is going the full opposite. So you give him credit, whether you believe it or not. But how he, it's like all of his emphasis is on what happened 100 years ago, not what's going on
Enough
right
with
now.
the race crap. I've had enough of
Yeah,
this garbage. We pay millions and trillions of dollars to black.
But every African American that I talk to, Eric, they like to hear it. Because,
Of course they do, Vic.
Because they feel like white people can't understand what it's like to have grown up like they did.
You can't understand what anybody went through as a kid. I'm
just telling you what I hear.
It's
get
poor
it.
people in general. It's not about race. It's about people who grow up poor, and then there's a cycle of poverty that
Correct.
takes place generation through generation through
Well, then
generation.
you better
that's
go.
part of the
and it's
system-
not about color.
And that's part of the systemic problem that is talked about. And I know we disagree on that, but that's why I do
It's
see
not-
the systemic issue that's there.
No, here's why I
And
disagree with you.
Colonel Adams even said there's systemic racism.
Here's why I disagree with
because
you.
it starts with the cities and the schools.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. There is systemic racism, particularly in the schools. We know
Bingo. And
St.
schools
Louis
were
City
just one.
schools
Here's why
are
I disagree.
atrocious.
Schools and neighborhoods.
Here's why I disagree.
And the neighborhoods.
Let's say we all do. The United States is not racist anymore. Yes, it might have points. Racism in the country is very similar to COVID. 0.008% of us are maybe racist. The other 99 point whatever are not racist. We want everybody to succeed. We want all boats to rise together. Here's the deal. This is the way I look at it. It's systemic racism, as you guys call it. I look at it as a potted plant that has been it's left to go to its own. It's wilted. Now, what do you do to fix that potted plant? You get good topsoil. That's the first thing you do. That's crime. You need to get the crime problem under control so you can get good topsoil. The second thing you do is you go plant seeds in the damn topsoil. That's business and economic opportunity and education. That's the second thing you do.
Yep.
The number 3 thing you do is you water it. You continue to make it, that would be marketing, advertising. Make St. Louis an amazing destination and make it work.
But what about white poverty? I mean, why?
I'm not talking about white poverty right now.
But I'm talking about, I just want to ask you a question.
People in that situation will get swept up in what I'm talking about.
Why is it that we care about inner city or wherever we have black poverty, but we don't care about areas in which we have white poverty?
Because you got it.
And they suffer
The
from
number
the
one-
exact
okay,
same
let me tell you that.
That's
circumstances.
another issue. It is. And for the 4 poorest towns in the state of Missouri are white communities.
Absolutely
Even more
so.
so than any
And they
place
have
in the
white
city.
on white crime.
Okay, but here's the deal.
They have high
Okay.
crime rates and high drug use.
Let's fine. Well, let's acknowledge that. I acknowledge that. But what I'm talking about here with the potted plant analogy, you use that as a template all over the country. If you say to me, hey, Arnold, Missouri, this little part of Arnold, it has an annual income of $20,000 a year, then you take your little potted plant theory and you go do the same damn thing down there. All boats rise together kind of a thing. Here's what kills the potted plant theory: politics. Our politicians are so dumb. It is overwhelming how dumb our politicians are. Because when I hire a CEO of a company, Vic or Tabitha, my expectation is that my return on investment is going to start to go up. When you just voted for this mayor of St. Louis, your ROI is about to go down.
But Eric, there's no money in bringing people out of poverty. It's much easier.
What are you talking about?
It's much easier for the government to just pay them so much money per month and keep them in poverty than it is to create programs that bring them out of poverty. And that's why this situation...
With a bigger tax base, with happier
and who's gonna
people?
Pay? Are you going to pay 50% taxes to bring these communities out of poverty?
You don't have to do that. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
Well, then where does the money come from?
From the Facebook line. The crime won't go away until after the opportunities are created, because a lot of the crime is due to lack of opportunities.
You shock and awe, Vic. You go in there with it's like a pool.
With where's the money going to come
It's like a
from?
pool.
The money's coming from the federal government
Right now it is.
Because Tashar Jones is trying to invest in North St. Louis and South St. Louis.
And I hope that happens. I hope they invest. But we've done that already. Trump had hot spots that they invested in and they revitalized.
No, but
they did it in Pagedale. They put millions of dollars into Pagedale.
This is a bigger.
I hope so.
No, you have to step back. You have to rip up all the plans that you think you have made. You have to go in there with a team of smart people, which they're not here. I'll tell you that right now.
It's going to take.
I'm
going
to tell you that right now. Corey Bush is not one of your smart people. I'm telling you right now that Tashara Jones, I gave her a chance. She's not one of your smart people. I'm telling you need pros to go in here and fix this.
I know why you're saying what you're saying against Corey Bush, and you won't get a lot of argument from a lot of people when she says anytime you invest in police, that's wrong.
It's not smart.
That's
Let's
not,
just start there.
I don't. That comment.
1 + 1 does not equal 10.
Tashar, why? And your problem with Tashar is because of the 98
because she
jobs.
has already walked into an office and she says, "We have a problem here, guys. There's 100 cops that we need to get hired, and we have the #1 crime-ridden city in this country. I don't care what you guys say. We're going to get these guys funded." Okay. Moving on to the next topic. And that's how that should have happened right there. It should have been that fast.
What funded?
The cops, the people that the new butts and seats down there in St. Louis City proper.
But here, okay, there's a couple different things with that. How are you going to get people to come when nobody was coming anyway?
Then you better do a marketing advertising campaign.
They've
been doing marketing advertising campaigns for a decade.
Then you continue the trend.
But they didn't have the residency rule then.
Yeah.
As soon as they put in the residency,
all
of a sudden they shut down the jobs.
No, but the residency rule it didn't change anything.
No, well, they didn't give it time to change it, is what Nick was saying.
Well,
and I don't know as much personally as Nick knows.
I've heard both sides of the story.
I really do not want
politicians saying we thought that it would immediately bring people in, but it didn't.
And then Nick feels like they didn't give it enough time.
Well, but if I love Nick, but Nick, there's another side to that. Because when they were promoting it, they said there's people right now that will come in and work if you change a residency rule. They changed it, and it didn't happen. So I believe in being fair. And so, Eric, you still didn't have people coming in.
You could try.
In St. Louis
I'm
City
sure
as
we
police
could
officers.
try exceptionally hard to get another 100 badasses in there and be a cop in St. Louis proper.
The only way you would attract more people is two things. One, you pay the people a lot more money, but where you get that, but they're paid for with tax money.
And there's no tax money in the city.
Base.
But it was funded. Those cops were funded. You could have used that money to get another 100 cops in St. Louis. And basically, she said, "You know what?
Used what money?
Whatever money. There was $4 million allocated.
Yeah, well, the money was going towards overtime.
Then get rid of the overtime and get those people down there.
According to Jane Duker, who represents the police union, she says they are now going to be without that money, and you're going to have less officers on the street. Tashara Jones disagrees, and then that's where they're...
And that's why they want to merge with the county, because the city does not have tax money. So they want to take the tax money from the county and supply it to the city.
Which leads us into the next subject, which there will be a city-county merger. And people disagree with me and say there's no way in hell it's going to happen, Vic. I'm telling you, at some point in time it is. But it is ironic because very important, influential people in the city will lose their jobs because there'll be less need for leadership roles when you merge. Which is
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Which is one of the reasons it didn't pass the last time. Just one.
And I think it'll pass the next time. I don't want it to pass, but I think it will.
Have you ever walked over to you made a cheese sandwich and it sat in the sun a little too long and there was a little bit of mold on the side and you're like, man, should I eat this thing or should I just throw it away? St. Louis is that moldy cheese sandwich right now. You can start to cut the edges of it off and maybe eat it. But if you leave it in there much longer, that thing is going to become unedible. And that's where St. Louis is.
Well, you're getting ready to start paying for that cheese sandwich.
St. Louis is a moldy cheese sandwich right now, and it can be fixed, but you better hurry the hell up.
I don't know how to fix it. We have to start with the schools, but like Vic said, the tax money isn't there. And how do we fund schools? How do we fund police if there's no tax money in the city to fund them with?
You're never going to have an opportunity in St. Louis. You just won't. And this is not me being negative. You're never going to see a different St. Louis ever until the one issue, which was the number one mayoral issue, is taken care of. That number one issue, which I talked about, is crime.
How are you DeWitt right now?
And crime continues to stay where it is or even go up, and it's not getting any better. And there's really no plan in place right now unless you bring in outside sources, which is what Tashara said we don't want in our neighborhoods. There's really no plan on the table. There isn't.
And that's a problem also because when I'm a business owner, I make what is called a business plan. It has a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, and I know where I'm putting my money. I know how my return is going to come back. I have it segregated into multiple columns on a spreadsheet. And this is what leadership is about, is walking into a boardroom and saying, ladies and gentlemen, here are your challenges. We
got to take a break.
Here's
guys.
your pain, and here's how you fix it. And that's what we need to start seeing from our leadership here in St. Louis. So, I just think that right now that we have got to be conscious of everything that's going on in St. Louis, and we have to, not give these guys, and I'm talking about Tashara, I'm talking about Corey Bush, and we have got to stop giving them 1 inch because they will take a mile on top of our backs. And that's all I'm saying. And it's very frustrating.
It's a complex issue. There's no easy answer. I just want to make sure it's not about race. It's about poverty. We have to stop focusing on race.
It's not about race. It's not even about poverty.
But
it's
it is about
No,
poverty.
it's not.
That's Eric. It is about poverty.
It's not.
We got a break.
It's not.
We got a break. We got a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Edge.
The Edge Morning Show is coming right back.
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep all night, every night. The Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep is going on now. Take advantage of our best offer of the year and experience your best sleep of the summer. All Tempur-Pedic mattresses are on sale with select savings up to $500. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
Life can change quickly when this happens. When things go sideways, you'll need someone to help handle it. My name is Derek Barker, and I own the Barker Agency. At my office, we spend our days getting folks protection built specifically for them, making your care our top priority. From cars to motorcycles, ATVs to boats, if you can ride it, we can cover it. Even the home you own or the place you rent. You need to make sure you're covered so when this happens, you're not left out in the rain. Without the right protection, it only takes a few seconds for your life to change drastically. And it only takes a few minutes to pick up the phone and speak with a member of my team to make sure you're protected correctly when it does. Call the Barker Agency at 866-D-BARKER or stop by the office at 935 Waterbury Falls Drive in O'Fallon. Make sure to let us know you heard me on the Viper.
Mom, Ethan's on the tree again.
Ethan, get down.
Can I climb on the swing set instead?
Sounds like it's time to get all your adventure-seeking kids to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They'll soar on Thunderbird, race against each other on Cheetah Chase, the first launched water coaster, and get the thrills they love on all the wooden roller coasters. Get your family fun off the ground at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Of all the challenges Chef Gordon Ramsay has faced on Hell's Kitchen,
what is happening?
He's never encountered anything like this.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21.
23.
Hashtag Young Guns.
Tonight on Fox, TV's most explosive cooking competition is back.
We're running a kitchen, not a kindergarten.
With a whole new generation of aspiring chefs.
I don't want to sound super cocky, but we're taking charge.
Get out!
Okay, Boomer. Hell's Kitchen Young Guns. Season premiere tonight at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, thanks for a great show. Remember to share it. 100.7 The Viper. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust to Fox 2. It's fast 2 hours today, wasn't it, boys and girls?
That's right, man. And it's like to say this. We're passionate about this because we love St. Louis. And we want to see it fixed. We're not doing this to cap on St. Louis. We really would like to see this area fixed, and we really want to hear our local media say that this is a tragedy and it needs to change.
And that's what the local media has been saying. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, I'm Big Faust of Fox 2. We'll come back. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks for lunch. We'll see you tonight at 5 and 9 on Fox 2. Chris will be wearing some navy blue and blue tonight.